The main picture is a scarlet macaw, top left, Mangrove Black-Hawk, bottom left, hermit crabs. Welcome to my vlog. This is about my trip to the Osa Peninsula in summer 2017. Everything you're going to see is going to kind of pop in and out of the maps so you can see where everything was taken. I've got other videos which are shorter, snappier, everything's edited really fast. This is going to be much more chilled with a few more of the clips that didn't make the cut in the other videos. So this is the place to be if that sounds like something interests you. This is a blue-crowned Motmot, by the way. One of the many colourful birds I saw on my trip. And coming up in a moment is a pale-billed woodpecker. Now, one thing that some people said is that I met was, oh, I wish I'd seen more wildlife. And I see where they're coming from, because if you go to Drake's Bay, which is one of the sort of destinations that people often get drawn to because the transport's easy and lots of the local accommodations, places where you can stay, advertise well, it can be difficult to explore. We'll talk about that in a moment. This is a Tawny-winged Woodcreeper. I saw this at my hostel, so there you go, there's one answer. There's wildlife all around the town. And I remember there was someone, whoa, 2 or 3 people at the hostel, and not just me, that would jump up regularly because there would be hummingbirds feeding on some of the flowers of the plants at the hostel. And this was a budget hostel, so you know, it can be done. There's still plenty to see if you look. This is a violet-crowned woodnymph, which is a hummingbird. You can just see it perched. And this is a seed. I thought these were really amazing. Look at that giant papery kind of parachute, which I guess is to make it land further away from the tree to help the tree spread. This is a yellow-headed Caracara, which I saw on the coast path. One of the benefits of staying at Drake's Bay is you can walk along the coast path. A lot of tourists use it. I think probably not enough do. There's so much you can see along that path, especially if you get up earlier in the morning. I saw these dolphins from the path. I got some extended view of the dolphins, but this was the one little video clip that I got. And these are brown pelicans preening. You'll notice I get lots of videos of birds preening. I could potentially get even more videos of birds perching, but I've stopped doing that because it's not very interesting just to see a bird that's sat there doing nothing. But when they're doing something, it's a lot more interesting, and I've found it's kind of nice to watch. Talking of which, here's a perched Mangrove Black-Hawk. But I always think a bird of prey is so amazing I can bear it. I can't believe how close this one let me get. I guess they must become at least partially tame to the humans that walk past. Although again there's that proviso, which is that I walk very quietly and gently, which means I think I tend to disturb the wildlife less. Okay, going back to the earlier discussion, there's a trail run by the locals which is free, and it's part of their kind of attempt to make it friendly to visitors. This is a grey-chested dove, so if you're staying at one of the hostels or hotels, you'll be told about this trail and you can walk there, explore it. It's a free chance to do another activity and see more wildlife. This is a green heron. And in case you're wondering, in case anyone's like, oh, I'm going to start taking notes, you don't need to. I've got articles on my website and I've even got a book all about this, so we can just enjoy the video. So on the same walk, I saw these 2 pale-billed woodpeckers. I had to mess around with the audio a bit, which means I think you can't hear them pecking. And everything looks slightly green because can you see there's giant green leaves, very thin, which meant that light was getting through, but the whole area kind of had this green tinge to it. I thought it was really amazing. And if you're into bird watching, I was very excited to see this buff-breasted warbler by the river. Very much a riverine bird. I was also excited to see these 2 black-striped sparrows, which I don't see that often, so I thought this was a good view. If you're not so into your bird watching, maybe this isn't the highlight of this current video. But don't worry, there's more to come. Oh, check this out. 2 riverside wrens having a dust bath. I don't know whether it would work for humans, but I know that some people don't like getting wet in the bath, so maybe if you just had a giant bath full of dust. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. Okay, another Mangrove Black-Hawk. This one looks like it's caught something. So I'm back on the coastal path for a longer walk. I think the coastal path along Drake's Bay is suitable for short and long walks. I think it's great. And if you want to, which is what I did, you can walk all the way along the coast, and there's another hostel, because I tend to just travel in hostels, using hostels. These are hermit crabs. I'll come back to that in a moment. They're swapping shells. They're moving house because they use discarded shells from other animals, and as they grow larger, as the hermit crabs grow larger, they have to find new shells. And so apparently, this is what I've heard, they cluster together, and it's kind of it's like a hermit crab version of estate agents. Yeah, so I walked from the hostel in the main town at Drake's Bay all the way down to Jungla del Jaguar, and then walked all the way back on different days. And I think it's a great way to be able to do quite a long distance hike. And in Costa Rica, generally, it can be very difficult to do longer distance walks. Partly because of this is a spotted sandpiper. The video looks a bit strange because they do move very fast. Scarlet macaw, always look for things falling out of the trees to the ground. If you see that, look up. There's probably something feeding, maybe a monkey or a squirrel or a macaw. Yeah, I think one of the issues is that on the equator, undergrowth grows very, very fast, so it's very costly in terms of time and money to keep trails clear, which means there's just less trails. Alt watch, this jumps in a moment. Whereas if you compare it to going somewhere in the mountains, trail maintenance is almost zero cost and zero time because it just stays clear. Oh wow, check this out. This is a track from a tapir, which is a giant mammal. This is it's about 20 centimeters across. One footprint is. I was really excited to see that. This is a large bird. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it must be at least a meter long. A great curassow. And those are two animals which you can see nearer the national park, because you have to get near the national park to see some of the really high quality forest wildlife. Let's finish off. This is dusk. I was stood on the beach watching these pelicans fly, presumably to roost somewhere.